Hello. I decided to just come and do most likely a relatively short transmission. There is, if you will, some, I'm going to use the word dualistic frequencies that I've been picking up on in terms of you may be experiencing, or someone you know, like my throat just like clogged up a little bit, like high highs and low lows kind of thing, like really intense bursts of like creative energy, excitement, almost like I'm getting the feeling of like invincible, which sounds like a beautiful feeling, and it is a beautiful feeling. If I'm speaking a little bit funny, it's because this dog that I have around me is trying to get comfortable in my space, like to sit with me, and she just like can't make up her mind. She's like kind of sitting on top of me, but she thinks she's like a lap dog, and she's absolutely not. So you may be getting a little bit restless, or like having a hard time feeling comfortable or relaxing or quieting the mind. When I was meditating earlier, I could feel my body like, it's almost like restless leg syndrome, you know, if you're familiar with that, but not just the legs, like definitely heavy in the legs, but it was like, I could just feel like surges of energy like shooting through my body. And so, I just wanted to come on and maybe just bring through a little bit, to just perhaps maybe balance or smooth some of the intensity, because there's this, it's almost like, you know, energetically I'm feeling like these blasts of, oh my God, it just like came through my head. So it's like these blasts of, it's funny, I was guided to put on, I'm not sure if you can hear the music in the background, but it's like calmness frequencies. So it's funny because there's someone sitting in with their legs crossed and their spine straight, like I guess what we call Indian style, in the artwork for the video. And there's just this like massive fire like coming up from in between the legs until about the nose, or like right before where the pineal or the third eye starts. And again, these like surges in energy that are coming through for those who are like, you know, sensitive, whether or not you're conscious of this, you know, even if you're sensitive and not conscious, you may be having these like I'm not saying that you're not conscious, I mean like of this specific thing, you may be having these like bursts of, I keep getting almost like mania, just like pure excitement, almost feeling like simple human things that we need to stay human may not even feel relevant. Like maybe you're just not hungry, maybe you can't sleep. And I know, I personally, if my friend ever listens to this, she'll know who she is. And I've been feeling like a collective energy of that. I think it has also been coming through my dreams as well. And so, and I notice it with myself if I allow that, I'm going to call it an imbalance. And, you know, this is not to say that you're doing anything wrong. That's why we have those of us to, you know, do a different part or share different parts of this like grand design or puzzle, if you will, you know? So like, there can also be like, feeling perhaps like worry. I know that's been coming, I've been feeling that collectively, like this like anxiety. I just got these tingles on my crown. So if it comes in waves of like just anxiety or financial worry, relationship worry, whatever it is, right now, I know, especially if you're like right in the midst of feeling the freak out or feeling the mania or whatever it is, or again, it might be like swinging back and forth to that. And if for some reason you're drawn to listen to this and you're like, oh, I'm not experiencing that, I feel balanced, and yeah, that's wonderful. And then this might be for you to do something that you might feel like you can be of service. And I'm not saying to like overextend yourself or put yourself in any dangerous situations. What I mean is like, you know, if you feel called to like create something, even if it's like a piece of art, or if you're more someone who wants to work with, I don't know, spreadsheets, like whatever it is, if you feel called to help someone in some way, or maybe it's something like I'm doing, you know, whatever it is, like you just may feel more called to step into that next phase of whatever it is that you feel you can offer. Again, as long as it feels good to you, you know. So yeah, there's something about that. And some of you may be a little bit of both. Like you might be swinging back and forth, you know, almost like feeling like you're in between worlds, or into, as we can say, like in the quantum spaces, like in between two timelines. So yeah, each one of you will perhaps be in a little bit of a different area. And if I did not address your specific thing, feel free to like comment, and yeah, and feel free to comment even if I did address your feeling or where you feel like you're at. So why I felt called to do this, I actually was like resting all day, and I really wasn't going to record anything, but the energy just kept flowing. I just took a shower, and after I was coming out, I just like had to go pick up my phone and start talking. So it was just like this urge, which I really needed to, you know, take that time to rest first. So like I was saying, doing things right now, and especially if you're in that like mania phase where you're like, oh, I don't need this anymore, or if there's like impulsive, you know, if you're about to like make some impulsive decisions, or like, you know, not thinking through something that perhaps served you in the past, like utilizing a specific tool that helps you to, you know, tune in or whatever it is. I think what is being recommended here is to just slow it down a little bit and really focus on just like that fire I was talking about in the YouTube video art of the music that's on. It's like really grounding down the energy all the way into the root, all the way into the earth, you know, that type of thing. So listening to like shamanic drumming, if that's something you feel called to, or 50 hertz or 51 hertz is allegedly this frequency that you do have to be careful with. So just make sure that it feels good to you. It usually will say like test tone on the YouTube videos for that hertz frequency. And there's this guy, I believe it was Dan Winter, who really bridges like the science and spirituality aspects. I'm pretty sure it was him. He said that there were like these people in a Bosnian pyramid that kept having these like miraculous, you know, what we call miraculous is what we don't understand, these miraculous healings. And I'm not saying this is going, you know, this is more just the story of how this tone was discovered. Yeah, people were just going and like feeling this instant peace, you know, like etc. And so they went and they brought some technology to see like what was going on, and they realized that this like vibration from the pyramid that was humming or giving off was 50 or 51 hertz. So yeah, you don't want to listen to it too high. It can like blow out your speakers. So you just want to like put it at a moderate tone. But it really does, for me, when I feel like I need something to just like really ground the energy or slow down, or, you know, there's like that phrase, the pulse of the mother. So looking up the Schumann resonance, doing something outside, you know, whatever it is. Actually, even if you're not hungry, I mean, trust your body, but like really making sure that you are getting nutrients. Like I was seeing this earlier too, but I'm seeing it again, like, you know, red juices, and not like sugary juice that's like brands that I can't even think of right now, but I mean like the closest you can get to like cold pressed juice. Or if you're in a financial pickle, I know there's some like I don't know if you live somewhere that you know how to forage, or just whatever it is to try and get some, yeah, like beet juice or watermelon juice, or eating fruit, vegetables, maybe things like quinoa, and of course trust your body. But there's just something about eating like soups, just like really nourishing, grounding foods. And if you can't eat a lot, that's okay, but it's just something about really just making sure your body's getting... Yeah, I just heard like tubulars, I think they call another aspect of root vegetables, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, purple sweet potatoes, carrots, like that type of thing. You know, if you're into like rice, grains, that type of stuff, amaranth, farro, stuff like that. So yeah, and I just heard in my head light dairy. So I'm not like here to judge anyone on their dietary things. So if it doesn't fit for you, that's totally fine. But there's something about like, I don't know, like goat cheese or goat milk or something along those lines. I don't know why I was hearing that for maybe just a few of you. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to say, I just got really tongue-tied, chanting and toning, but for some reason I kept hearing in my head Channing Tatum, which I think he's an actor. I don't know, that could just be for someone, maybe you just watched a movie with him in it, maybe someone here really likes him, I don't know. I was just clearing through my throat, so when I was trying to speak, I literally like was trying to say chanting and toning, but my mouth like was like fighting me to say Channing Tatum. So myself today, I just did a quick, I actually saw someone talk about a lot of people not really tuning into, you know, the root area of our body, and I felt like that was part of this collective message I was already getting. And I find myself sometimes doing it too. Like if I have a very active mind, if you will, so I can easily get caught in that. So I have to really be mindful, like very much so. And today was one of those days where I was like, I had to actively be like, okay, what do I need? Because I could feel that mental like tailspins to start. And you know, I was also tuning into the collective as well. So if you're someone who does feel like they also are tuning in collectively, or just around, you know, others that may feel a bit different than your inner natural rhythm, this could be for you as well. So yeah, really just whatever, again, works for you. But the idea is to like do your best to connect with your breath and, you know, things that really make us human, like something sensual. I'm hearing, like, you know, you might want to like give yourself a little massage, or if you have like, if you're someone who likes oils, I keep seeing like velvet. Maybe someone here has like something velvety that they love to touch or wear, or like eating things that taste like velvety. Yeah. I was planning to do like a longer recording, and I have stuff written down. So I think I'm actually going to save that for a different audio. I was going to try and weave it into this, but I'm actually being guided not to. So I'll probably record that tomorrow. But I will say there was a dream I had last night that was really interesting, and I'm being guided to share it. So in this dream, there was someone showing up. I'm hearing Channing Tatum again. So I don't know what that's about, to be honest, but we'll see if something comes up. And now I'm seeing like almost like Greek statues, like from different time periods. Okay, I watched this like thing on, I was staying with my friend and she had the TV on, and they only got like a couple channels, and she was like, yeah, we have like 2 options, so I'm just gonna leave this channel on. I think it was like, it reminded me of like a PBS kind of channel, but like updated. And this guy was walking around somewhere, and he was talking about Greek statues, and how like you can tell by looking at the statue when it was made based on like the body language or the shape of the body, how they depicted different aspects of the body. I don't know where that's coming up, but there's something about like, yeah, I was just talking about this, like the world card in tarot. This energy probably feels a little bit crazy right now because, and when I say crazy, I mean like really exciting, and then perhaps a little bit like really anxious. I do feel like there was just, you know, a lot of us who are into this kind of stuff just passed through that Lionsgate portal. And, you know, when these celestial events take place, and we have alignments with certain, you know, constellations or star systems, it's like pulses of those frequencies tune in. So in order to really, you know, integrate them and implement them and utilize them in a more balanced way, again, that like feminine pulse of the mother slowing down is really called for. It's almost like integration, aftercare of celestial energetic portals, you know? Maybe that's what I'll call this. And of course, if this doesn't fit for you, like, I am not saying that everyone has to do this. This is just for those who feel like they're looking for that type of thing, or that might be helpful, like, for you, you know? Okay, so back to these Greek statues. I think there's some, when we talk about like the feminine and masculine, there's some like masculine cycle that feels like it just, again, yeah, I'm seeing like the World card in tarot, and I'm seeing the 3 of Cups. So yeah, some cycle feels like it closed, and I'm hearing a gate, some like gate closed. If someone here is into like gene keys or human design, I don't know why I'm seeing like, I heard gate 23. I don't know too much, so if you're into that, there might be something about gate 23, and gene key 22. So that could be for someone. Yeah, now I'm seeing like a revolving door. So things can feel a little bit like the door is spinning and you're trying to like get through the right opening, and you feel like you might just like almost are about to go, but then it keeps revolving and you're like, ugh, can't quite get my foot in that door. But but like you can see it and it's spinning, so you might just like really, this feels like a pretty short-lived window for the, and if you find this at a different time than when I post it, just, you know, take that for you then of whenever your time frame is. But I'm hearing like 3 to 5 days. Like it feels like 3 to 5 days from whenever you're hearing this, there's going to be this, I'm hearing like wonky, wiggly, I don't know, sort of, yeah, again, like that revolving, spinning door. So doing your best to really, again, just anchor in. And it's interesting because it's like, I'm hearing to anchor in, but not too tightly because things are still spinning. So again, just whatever keeps you as present as you can be, so that you can be rested when this inspired action calls. And if you are someone who can sort of balance both and, you know, ground, take the action, ground, take the action, weave it all together, then that's wonderful. Absolutely. Okay. So I just heard like directing to the relationship front. So, okay. Oh, as soon as I said that, the dog who's sitting next to me just like put her paw on my knee. Like so surprisingly. So there may be a surprise. Oh, now she just put her head on my lap. This is so cute. Yes, there may be like an emotional outpouring surprise. It might, oh my God, she just did it again. I can't, she's so cute. Okay, I'll stop gushing over her now. Yeah, so there's like, I'm not getting a timing, honestly, but this is for a select few of you if you feel like you have had low to minimal like contact or conversation with someone recently that perhaps you, yeah, it's like that revolving door again. Like you feel like you've been going around a revolving door. I brought this through one of my Patreon overflows a few weeks ago that there was communication coming in. This is for people who probably feel like they're in some sort of like divine union or whatever label you want to put on it, just some sort of like higher heart chakra connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic, but it most of this feels romantic, if I'm being honest. But yeah. So anyway, it feels like if there has been some sort of communication, and again, if not, it's probably coming quite soon, but use your intuition, please, and like your own discernment, like only if you really feel that, you know, like being honest with yourself is important. And I just did a recording recently. I called it Clarity Emergence. So there might be some sort of clarity coming in like that next step. And then I do feel that will, if the clarity for you feels like you're getting a green light, you know, for each of you it might be different, like really trusting your own intuitive pull and knowing. But yeah, the whole time I'm talking about this dog is like, now her head is on my shoulder and she's like staring into my eyes. So she cracks me up. So yeah, there's probably like, it's really hard with these type of messages because it's not something you can really plan or force. It's just, it's in the energy. And like, you know, I do feel like there's an alignment of some sort of, I'm just hearing like an emotional outpour, but I don't want to put too much like on that because, you know, it might be different for each person, and some people need to do things in steps and more lightly, and others may like just kind of like let more out at once. So I know it's really difficult sometimes, but try your best to just, you know, like I said earlier, like really tune into yourself and pour into yourself, and just keep that your focus for now. Yeah, that was just a little side message that I think was coming through like the Greek statues and it's funny, I have a little free trial oracle deck on my phone, and I pulled this card earlier and it reminded me of the 3 of Cups in tarot. and it was like this heart that looked like really hard, almost like a statue actually, but it was like bronze, and then it had a slight crack in it with like light emerging out of it, this like violet light. So yeah, there's like some softening in a masculine energy, and it doesn't have to be a man, of course, but just a masculine, mostly masculine energy, that there's like this like crack of light that is this violet light. So yeah, like a higher knowing, higher chakra energy coming through the heart. So especially if you're picking up on any of that type of anxiety and the collective masculine emergence of that energy, there might be an extra pull to really like tune in and do any root, lower chakra, whatever word you want to use to describe that energy, to keep it in balance. And I heard for the earth too, so some of you here may be feeling like shaken up a bit, like you want to, I just heard like a frequency in my left ear, like move around, you know, go for walks more, get outside. Stargazing seems to be really relevant right now. Venus energy, a lot of Venusian waves coming through. And for some of you who feel the pull to travel, or maybe you're traveling right now, or you have a trip coming, or you're just like feeling the pull to travel, for each of you it will be different, long-term, short-term. For very few of you, I'm actually seeing like a move coming up. And for even more few of you, I feel like it will be unexpected. Like you might just get some sort of like epiphany or idea or dream or opportunity, and you might just like decide to move like out of your state or vicinity. This is very, very specific, but I just heard 1,000 miles. So someone here may be traveling like 1,000 miles, or it could also just feel like metaphorically, like, you know, when people say, oh, if you walk a mile in my shoes, there's something about like something feeling like it's 1,000 miles away, something about that. I don't know why, I just heard in my head the Mile High Club. I know if you don't know what that is, then you can look that up if you want to, but I don't know, maybe someone was just joking about that here or talking about that. I don't know, it just like came right in my head. No pun intended. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see, the dream. So in my dream, there were a few different people, but in my dream it was someone who I was dating, and the water in the water cooler just moved. Yeah, again, that like emotional, there's like movement in the emotional body coming through like so strongly, and I just got really hot in my chest. So in this dream, I was still like utilizing my current practices of, you know, like studying some of the more esoteric metaphysical stuff and energy. I heard transference work, etc. Like that was something I still did in this dream. And my boyfriend in the dream was not my boyfriend in this life right now. But again, he kept like changing into a few different people. And a friend of mine was in the dream, and he had a really intense breakup in the dream. So there could be something about that, like heart mending, maybe just like old ways of thinking or feeling sometimes that kind of come up from like past relationships or past behaviors that are just sort of being shown to you to be like, oh, wait, not everyone's going to be just like that. Like if you're listening to this and you've gotten this far, you probably are someone who is either stepping into or is currently like, I like to call them unhealed filters, like no longer operating through those unhealed filters. So it's like you've gotten a space within yourself that calling people in. I want to be careful with this. Again, please utilize your own discernment, but if you really do feel like you're someone who, like if you keep getting pulled to like a person, a place, a thing, maybe multiple things where it doesn't really look on the outside, like it's like logically it doesn't quite make sense, but you just keep feeling this pull And you might feel crazy sometimes. And you might even like, just like self-preservation might kick in with this person, place, or thing. And you may find yourself like feeling like you need to protect yourself or feel harsh. And again, please use your discernment, but I do feel like there's a softening of this as well. Like with, just like in that masculine, emotional softening, within this, the feminine aspect too. And again, these are just words I use to describe what I'm feeling, since we still use words to talk most of the time. So, yeah, I think we're all just trying our best to like develop a vernacular when we're tuning into some of these energies. It might be hard to like just describe. So I just wanted to say that. And yeah, so there's like the softening. Now I'm seeing the Queen of Swords in tarot. So like, if you know the energy, it's like really needing to like assert yourself and assert your boundaries. And like, that is also needed. I'm not saying not to do that, but if you find yourself doing that, and perhaps you might not need to be so assertive anymore in that way. Like there's a softening coming through. And it can feel a little scary because there's so many reasons why it can feel scary, and that's totally okay to feel scared a little bit. But again, if you really feel this, yeah, there's just a call to like, and I am personally also experiencing this myself. So I really understand. Okay, so with that, in this dream, there was something about my boyfriend at the time who was feeling like he couldn't quite understand why I was interested in what I was interested in. And I never forced him in the dream. I was like, hey, this is just what I'm into. Like, and then at some point in the dream, he comes up to me and he's like, I found like a group who's going to like teach me. I want to like understand like you, and, but I want to do it my way. I don't want to like just get it from you. Like I want to do it in my own way. And I was like, oh, that's like amazing. Like, I'm so happy to hear that. Like only do it if you really want to, whatever. And fast forward a little bit, there were like these two women who sort of like ran this group that he found. This is like, it gets a little dark, this dream actually. And when I was walking somewhere, I was just walking in the dream. I think I was outside. I remember seeing like little white dogs. So maybe someone here like has a little white dog, like a fluffy one. And then something happened, and the girl didn't know like who I was, that they were trying to like get my boyfriend in the dream to like join their group. And she, presented herself to him as this like calm Zen, person who was going to help him understand like the inner workings of his spirit and his mind, etc. And she walked by me and she like cursed me out and started screaming at me. And I was like, well, what is happening? And I don't remember. I think in the dream, I didn't do anything directly to her, but she just like, and I think I like went to like yell back at her in the dream, and I was like, wait, what am I doing? Like, I don't need to react this way. And so eventually I went to like apologize and say like, hey, listen, like, I don't know what just happened, but maybe I can like explain. Like, I don't know why you just got so upset with me. I don't even know you, whatever. And she basically like laughed in my face and like whatever, like treated me just like disposable, like, ugh, get away from me, like I don't even need to be talking to you, kind of thing. So to speed this up, at some point I like got this knowing, not right away, but in the dream I got this knowing that like something wasn't right. And my boyfriend in the dream was like, oh, I'm going to the ceremony tonight and it's going to be amazing. And he was like so excited about it. And there was some sort of like visual in the dream. It was almost like, I don't know I think it's called Plinko. It's like a TV show from back in the day. I don't know, where it's like this like ball thing drops in a spinning wheel. It was kind of like that, but not the same colors. It was like a darker landscape. And there was something about that where they were like utilizing a Plinko like setup to, like, I'm using air quotes, initiate someone into their group. And I knew it was rigged. Like, it was going to be my boyfriend in the dream. But they made it like it was like a random drawing. And they were going to like sacrifice that person, like kill them in the dream. So yeah, sorry if this is heavy, but this is just what is coming through. So someone here might be tuning into, and I think I in the dream, I went in and saved him. Like, you are not going to sacrifice anyone, you know, like I know what you're doing, like I see right through you. So there's someone here who could be having some sort of like heavy dreams. You might feel like you're like having perhaps like heavy meditations, or it could be a past energy too. It could be something that you've gone through already. Or again, if you're in that like more mania state, it may like you may start to feel that. And this is not to scare anyone. I think it's important to talk about these things. Or you could be someone who likes to read about the occult or ancient history, and you know, maybe you've been looking into sacrifices or just understanding why, you know, because they say in order to not repeat a pattern, I was talking about cycles, and in order to not repeat these patterns, we have to realize them and make new decisions, right? So there's something about that, like, even if it's not literal sacrifice, there could be like that self-sacrificial energy too, like that wounded feminine, like needing to always give, and then you don't have to be a woman for that, just the feminine energy, you know, whether you're a man or woman or non-binary or however you identify gender speaking. Just so there could be also a really deep healing and clearing of that self-sacrificial energy as well. I'm kind of seeing both being like risen to the top, kind of, to be looked at and released. And again, some of you have already been doing this, so. And this is just like, you may be noticing it in people around you too. Like, let's say you're someone who's been doing this a while and you're like, oh, like you might look at someone that you know, or just someone that you talk to sometimes, and you might like be able to see, like you might be starting to identify these patterns in others like much more clearly. The fox spirit kept showing up the last few days, and the lamb spirit I felt today. Mary Magdalene could be relevant. I feel heavy Mary Magdalene, and, you know, Yeshua, whatever you'd like to call. I like to talk about them as, you know, the beings and the archetypes and the stream of consciousness that they like represent, you know, like the Christ pulse, or the Christ consciousness, Christed light. So any of these things could be coming up for you, or maybe in the near future. For very few of you, you may feel called to read some different materials about Mary Magdalene, or maybe you already have, and you could really identify with like her archetype, because she's, from what I've read and tuned into her energy, you might really feel a pull to red. I was talking about like red juice. I always think about her with red for some reason. Like, you might feel called to like wear red. If you wear makeup, maybe like red lipstick or a red scarf. I know it's like really hot when I'm recording this, so maybe not a red scarf, but something about red. Like I said, eating red foods, drinking red juices. That color feels very significant. Scarlet. I'm hearing the word scarlet. Yeah, like ruby, garnet. And if you prefer to like visualize in meditation, you can like visualize those red shades of red and red stones, precious gems, sort of just like being showered around you. If you have any physical like stones or crystals that you like to work with, red and white might be significant right now, and gold, like pyrite. My face is getting licked by this dog, so thanks for giving me a second. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might be it. Please feel free to like comment, like I said, anything you feel called, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Yeah, and I just want to say thank you so much, and I'm hearing really funny, like cheesy expressions or phrases, like take care of each other. Like, I don't know, maybe this is very specific, but almost like, not calling anyone here cheesy, but there's something about like newscasting, or like, I also heard rune casting, which are two totally different things. Maybe someone here has been like working with runes, or maybe you're feeling a pull. Yeah, now I'm hearing, I actually heard Othello, so maybe Shakespeare is relevant. But Odin, maybe someone here feels connected to Odin. Oh, and I just got a text, so you might be getting a text soon. Odin, that's also a double confirmation. Yeah, rune casting, but newscasting. So I'm seeing someone like, maybe someone here just needs to watch a really silly movie like Anchorman, because I'm seeing someone like, or something like a show. Maybe someone here is like watching a movie or a show about like newscasting, or maybe someone does that for their job. I don't know, but that just was coming up. Like a sign-off line, you know? Okay. Well, thank you again. So I said this was going to be short, but it's already at 41 minutes. Okay. Thank you.